Okay, folks, come along for our journey. We're heading out of Columbus, Ohio, heading up to the Northeast states and trying to get my wife to Boston, Massachusetts for an airplane ticket that she has. She's come along for this part of the trip, but the car's not running so good. We waited all afternoon in Columbus waiting for some spark plug wires that did not arrive. So we headed out anyway, drove over east of Pittsburgh. Once we're east of Pittsburgh, then the next day we got up here. We drove across Pennsylvania over to New York and up to Brattleboro, Vermont. We were trying to find some replacement spark plugs. Of course, each part store has like 2 or 3, and we needed 6, so we had to kind of hop around. Follow along for our journey and see how we make it. Okay, last night we went to park. The relay fans were running for the air conditioning. Thought it was for the cooler. Sometimes they run and shut off. I came back out and checked the car. Didn't shut off. So I came up here to the fuse panel assembly, and I know that the air conditioning electric fan runs off of this fuse here. So I just pulled the fuse, and then it wasn't running in the middle of the night. I mean, I let it run about an hour or so. And so now I put it back on there and we'll see how it runs. But at least the relay is not running anymore. So that's a good sign, but I didn't want to run the battery down. Kind of wonder what that logic's happening, but at least know your car. Some of the basic simple things. You can pull that fuse and then it doesn't run your battery down for the next morning. We'll see you on down the road. Okay, a couple test balls solved our problem. I got a lot more airflow through the engine. Basically, we're going to put the tennis balls, and this latch is a safety latch. When you pop the hood, this keeps it closed. The wind will keep it closed as well. But we just put it down there, we squeeze the tennis balls a little bit, and now the hoods are well latched, but the air flows all the way through instead of containing it in the engine compartment. Reduces a lot of our heat problems, and we've been running really good since then. Thanks. Okay, it's early morning. We're getting out on the road. Easy thing to do, check your fluids. We got plenty of coolant, so that's looking good. And then we're gonna check the brake fluid. We're doing good there. Check our oil. Oil's looking good. And check our transmission, which you want to check hot, but you just want to see that you got fluid there to begin with. So we're doing good. Transmission fluid usually likes to be hot and it expands quite a bit, but check your fluids, look everything over. I still have parts on order for the melted spark plug wires, so that's coming. We're just getting by with what we have until we get the parts. We'll see you on down the road. So this here is just gapping the plugs. They come gapped from the factory, but just check them. So it's 0.035, and then you can put them in, and you know you have a standard gap. It's that easy. Just buy the right tool. It only takes a little bit. Okay. So we're back working on Jaguar stuff again. We have spark plug issues, of course, with spark plug wires as well. Those are coming. We've ordered them now going to be 3 different places along a road trip, because the first one didn't make it to where we were. They said it'd be there on Saturday. Didn't come in on Saturday. It's supposed to come in on Monday, but we're 500 miles away now on Monday. So we ordered them to 2 locations where we're going. Hopefully we'll get to the first location so we have them sooner. If not, we go to the second location. Because spark plug wires. But what we're going to do is we change out the spark plugs, because we're running really rich and not firing very well. So they're all labeled just because when I take them out, I wanted to know in case I made spark plugs or anything. But we're going to take these out and see what they look like. And pretty tight. A lot of crud in there. But anyway, that's what we got going. We'll go back to another video. See that crud?
No.
See the stuff fly around? So you just don't want it in your engine is the main thing. Like, watch this one right here. Can you zoom in right here?
Oh, okay, got that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's what I'd be talking about. Okay. So, there's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Is that video? You want to just picture? Oh, WD-40.
Why do you use the WD-40?
Because the threads get kind of corroded, and that way it goes in and out easier. You can always use more lubricant. No commentary. I'm gonna start going to more of your footage in off the dash cam. Bleep, bleep.
Yeah, I definitely would have had a couple of those conversations yesterday had I known I was being recorded.
Well, I think it's on and off because the other footage I didn't have any audio. So I think it's when it gets reset.
Look how pretty that is. It's all white, shiny. It's so
It won't be that long. That long. It's gotta work. I figure the weather's nice. We're right here. It's a nice parking lot. Not a lot of traffic or anything. We got restroom inside. Oh. All fouled out. So running this rich, it could be caused by the O2 sensor. Just because we replaced the O2 sensor, but we still have an error. So that replaced the wiring, and we still have an error. So I might need to reset it to see if we can get the computer to go correctly on that. But we're just basically getting a lot of soot running real rich. So that's not good. But spark plug wires need to be replaced too. Okay. The main thing on the Jag is these inline 6 spark plugs are right here on top, nice and easily accessible. And so, you know, I'm looking at them, but if I'm changing a couple, I just change them all because it's for $5 a plug. You know, probably 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them are probably okay, but if you're here, might as well change them all. So you got a new playing field for a while anyway. All right. Okay, I found this big piece of crud down in the engine bay there. That's a piece of this hosing that caked off one of these here. Probably this part over here, it cooked and fell off on a previous hose, but it's so brittle. Okay, thank you.
No, but I can. Why, Mr. Tilly, you seem so humor-filled today. What's going on? So filled with good cheer, giggling and smiling.
See that dust? That came out of there. Oh, you see that? That came out of there. I think we're racing on a dirt track or something. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Another piece is part of your bed.
Oh, this is an Allen wrench. my dad's. Wasn't there earlier. I think it's one of their mechanics or something. But
Talk about the present.
found an Allen wrench right here in the top of the cylinder head. I don't believe that's one of my dad's, but probably one of the mechanics. I don't see any Allens right here, but anyway, found that. Okay, that's enough there. You see all the sooty spark plugs? They're supposed to be like that. So we're trying to drive electricity through the one arc from one to the other, but when you have all this soot, ye's not going to be that efficient. It's going to work, but not as good. So we're cleaning them up, and it'll run good for a while. See ya. We're on number 6. Jaguar counts from the back to the front. US counts from the front to the back when they count cylinders. So there we go. Take number 6 out, and we'll be setting for a good time here. A little tight on that one. Ouch. That one was a little snug. I have to talk to the guy that put it in last. I wonder if I know that guy.
Was it a guy or was it his daughter?
A little too much horsepower. No, I put it in there. All right. So they're all sooty. There we go. Got it started. Threads are engaged. Insulator comes off on every one. Okay. Spark plug in there. Okay, that's it. Plugs are changed. And one or two in the other, so I need to put them all together.
Mr. Tilley, are you talking about spare parts?
Yeah, we got tons of spare parts.
What is
Going
in
through
that
our
trunk?
Spark plugs, so we know how many we need to acquire.
Did someone help you with spark plugs the other day?
Yeah, my daughter helped me with spark plugs.
What did she do?
I called ahead and sent her to the parts store. I said, Ava, here's this part number, here's part number. Ask for this part number. They're probably not going to have it. Then give them this part number and buy as many as they got, up to like 12. So I have 12 spark plugs. She goes in there. Of course, you know, the young guy wants to help her and wants to know the year, make, and model of the car. Sometimes their computers don't always go back this age for 40 years. And so she just says, here, I need this spark plug. He looks up, oh, we don't have that, we can order it. It'll be here in a day or 3 days or something. Yeah, we don't need that. She gives him the other spark plug number. How about this one? Oh, we got 8 of those. She'll go, I'll take all of them. Anyway, but that's what it takes, is go in there informed with your information. Don't expect them to be able to know stuff right at the counter. And a lot of times they want to roll you to their brand of spark plugs or whatever. Try to use what the manufacturer suggested, and then you don't have any conversions or any problems there. That's what they designed it for. Just try running it. See you on down the road. Okay, so here's a new spark plug versus one of our used spark plugs. We are getting some carbon buildup, but you can see the electrode's clean at the where it's working there at the bottom. But we're trying to work to get this fixed. We have a problem with the air injection system, so that's where the seal is on the top manifold on the left. This is another dirty spark plug, but here's basically the used spark plugs that we took out. Trying to show the difference. This here is where the O2 sensor is on the exhaust manifold. We replaced that, but we still had a problem. We started up, it's starting up cold, it's running rich, uses an air injection system for emissions at startup, but that's the manifold that's leaking at the top of the engine, and we also had an exhaust leak. Those are both compounding our issue with heat in the engine compartment. That's why we're using the tennis balls until we could get that addressed. But we had some miles that we had to get taken care of. We had a time schedule to keep, and you know, we had to go back to Alaska. So we're trying to get this done and make our trip, and we're trying to make plans for repairs in the future. But here we're trying to show some of the soot, trying to blow the system out a little bit, see what loose particles come out. It shows an O2 sensor problem after driving another, probably 800 miles or so, or 400 miles is when I got the new spark plug wires. I put those on. I still had the O2 sensor problem. I tried a new cable piece to see if it was a cabling, the O2 sensor, and that wasn't it. I ended up scouring the manuals, the shop manuals I had, and they wouldn't tell me anything about that. I ended up finding it on the internet, that there's a box in the back trunk hidden behind a panel. You take that off, it's not labeled or anything, and there's a push button that you have to push up in there with a tool or a wrench or anything you have in there. You push it up and it resets the computer. What Jaguar did was they made this alarm go off at like 35,000 miles. It says O2 sensor. Well, what it is you need to bring it in for service. So thanks Jaguar and car manufacturers that put those type of things on that don't communicate clearly to the user or to the mechanics what the issue is. Because here I had some mechanics put in the O2 sensor and it was still a problem. So I ended up reading all through the internet and finally finding that. So for folks with cars in the 80s, in the trunk on the driver's side, on the back panel just behind the passenger rear seat is a black box. You have to remove a panel and it's back in there, not labeled for anything, and you push that and then the O2 sensor light goes out. So glad to find that later on my trip, but I'm still trying to work issues out on there. But come along and see how we do on our trip and see how we can get along. Please like and subscribe and come along for the journey. So we spent a couple hours in the parking lot, but it's convenient. It's right there at the hotel. It's a little cooler in the morning there in Vermont, but we got those spark plugs changed out. We kind of blew out some of the soot. More will blow out on the highway. It'll get running better on the highway. The main thing is it's trying to use that air injection system when it's cold. And so once it gets up to temperature, it runs pretty well. This is some pictures of the soot coming out of the engine exhaust, and then also some of the soot, as you can see, on the parking lot space directly behind the exhaust tips. So here's a couple pictures of the carbon that we found on the parking lot and a picture of the tailpipe. Coming up next is a bridge right at the Vermont, New Hampshire border. My dad would have loved this bridge, being that he was a civil engineer. So we stopped and took a few pictures of it. Loved the design. Loved the two bridges that are there together. Nice little river, but pretty elegant design. And my dad explained it all to us, but they're also cut a tree nearby here, so check this out.
Yeah, go down the road. We don't get in trouble.
We got Alaska place there. Gives us a lot of leeway. Look at the wood on that sucker. Holy cow, that's a tree.
This is a pretty big tree compared to the ones that we have in our area. We're in interior Alaska, and we don't get very big, maybe 8-inch, 10-inch trees are pretty big in our area. Southeast Alaska has big trees like that. This is the bridge. Pretty elegant and just a nice design. So I figured I'd show this because my dad would have really appreciated this bridge and its design. Of course, credit goes to my passenger princess. My wife has a lot of patience, understanding. They're stopping and taking pictures of bridges and roadways and stuff like that. Of course, I grew up doing a lot of this with my dad, stopping, looking at a design, how the design works, how it's carrying the load of that bridge, and where those loads are going. I mean, this here would have been challenging, getting some of these parts transported to the bridge site. It's not like carrying a straight beam, it's curved beams, or may have some joints. So that's what we're trying to show here. Here's the signage as we're coming into New Hampshire, which was right near that bridge. But I slowed it down a little bit. But we sure had some great weather. It was very nice visiting some of the states in the Northeast. They go pretty quick when you're used to driving the mileage that we are. But it's very nice to enjoy the area. So an elegant setting, elegant bridge. We really enjoyed that. That was right at the border of Vermont and New Hampshire. And then we're going to roll into New Hampshire and head east. Go over towards Maryland and then head down to Massachusetts. We're running pretty good. We sure could use those spark plug wires, but we're moving and on down the road. Changing the spark plugs helped out a bit. And with a 40-year-old car, you're going to have something. So we're enjoying the weather, enjoying the location, and taking some pictures. Make sure to document the things that people zip across the bridge and may not appreciate all the math and all the hard work that went into making that bridge strong. And so this is Alaska Road Trippers. We'll be seeing you on down the road.